If you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Yo. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's choking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, loud. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choke. He's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his whole back to these ropes. It don't matter, he's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant, he knows when he goes back to this mobile home, that's when it's back to the lab again, yo. This old rhapsody better go back to this moment and hope it don't pass him.
Listen, we can talk about the flag, but let's talk about... Wait. What is up, everybody? Good morning and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on DSM Media. Everybody got their music on. There we go. Welcome to the show, everybody. Glad to have you with me here, right here, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you're watching. Do us a favor, share it out, like it, all that great stuff right there. If you want to get interactive with the show, the best place to do that is over on the YouTube page. So go over there to the YouTube page and watch over there. Your comments, thoughts, concerns, hate it, terrible idea. They are going to be my thoughts on today's first topic. As we get started, just do me a favor. Sorry, Cole. Hit like and hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. We greatly appreciate that. We're at 599. We're one subscriber. One of the people that watch today, hit that subscribe button. We hit the 600, and then you'll only have to hear me talking about 700 then, not 600. I got intern Cole who's already ready to talk. I got Jason.
Always.
Hello. Guys, we have a great topic for the show today about realistic players our franchises can add that would change your expectations drastically for their upcoming or current season. But we have to put that topic on hold first because big breaking bombshell news broke this morning that the Philadelphia 76ers are going to be leaving the Wells Fargo Center and they're going to build a privately funded stadium in Center City, in the Fashion District, okay, Market East, in the middle of the city there. And now I hate it. It's a terrible idea. Got lots to get into. Cole, we'll get right to you in a second here. First, though, let's all realize building a stadium does not happen like that. This is going to be a 6, 7, 8, 10-year project. Sean Bernard, great reporter for covers the Sixers, just tweeted out that their expectations is hoping by 2031. So this is a long process. So we hate it, but it's going to be a long time. So Cole, you instantly hated the fact that I said I hate it. So, Cole, jump right in with your thoughts that the Sixers, this new stadium, 76th place is the tentative name right now before those billion-dollar sponsorships come rolling in for the naming rights. What are your thoughts?
Phil, for me, it's all right. I mean, I would have rather had it in the old Navy Yard, but it's awesome to see you be upset about it and get so fired up at it because it causes you inconvenience, which is awesome. So I'm a little indifferent about it. No, but in all seriousness, no, I don't like it in Center City. I mean, I get it. It brings a lot of attention to it. It's in the heart of Philadelphia. So I can see where it comes from. They didn't want to go to Camden because they didn't want to be the New York Giants, who should be the New Jersey Giants. Like we would lose part of the Sixers. So, and I don't know really from what I saw, it came down to the old Navy Yard or Center City. I would have rather have it in the old Navy Yard. I understand that it makes it the old Navy Yard isn't in the complex. I understand there really is no room for them to build a new stadium in the stadium complex. Because, I mean, they put in Xfinity Live, and then you have the Link and Citizens Bank, and Wells Fargo's not going anywhere. I would like to see them stay in Wells Fargo, but I understand that can't happen.
What's wrong with the Wells Fargo Center?
I don't think they like sharing. I don't think they like sharing because they share with 2 other teams.
Okay.
So there's 3 teams in that building. They really didn't want to share anymore. Get your own building. Go over. By that time, the Sixers are going to be garbage by 2031.
Maybe.
We're gonna be here.
You can't say whether it'll be garbage or not. Who knows what 10 years from now it's going to be?
They're a Philadelphia sports team that's not like they're a Philadelphia sports team. They're gonna end up being garbage. Like, trust me. Like, I mean, they're not as much of as the Phillies, but historically. But anyway, no. So they couldn't put it in the Sporting Complex. The old Navy Yard was closer. It would have been nice to have it there, but it does create inconvenience for anybody who is literally not inside the city.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Look, it's an inconvenience for me. I don't like it. Look, me and Jason, we went to a baseball game. You know, getting out of that stadium complex is a bitch. It really is. But outside of that, you've got everything there. You got Xfinity Live. You got the new casino. You got all your the tailgating. All that kind of stuff is great. But what about going to the city? Yeah, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get mass transit into the city. And look, let's be realistic. This is a long project. There is going to be work on infrastructure near that. They're going to make it easier to get to that part of the city. They will redo roads. They will change transit. There'll be things going on. I get all that. But for the people in South Jersey, Delaware, the outer suburbs, someone like me in Chester County, southern Chester County, the closest railway is probably the R3 and by the Granite Run Mall. So I got to take a 30-minute ride out to the Granite Run Mall. Then get on a train. What's that?
You would have to take a 30-minute. I would have to take like an hour drive just to get on the
30-minute drive to the R3, but that just takes me to 30th Street Station. Then I would have to hop off of there, get on another train or SEPTA vehicle to get into the city. So you're talking about a massive project to go see a Sixers game. And I think they're only thinking about the city, the people in the city. They're not thinking about the surrounding areas. And I think it's going to be really bad for the fans of the city to support their team. It really, really is. Jason, what were your thoughts when you didn't see it till I saw it and shared it out? What were your initial thoughts when you saw this?
I mean, so my mind right away goes back to I remember when the Phillies were getting their new stadium before, the stadium where they're at now. They had proposed possibility of putting a stadium in Chinatown.
Yep.
And the whole thing I look at it at these kind of things is I think it's crazy, but I think these teams looked more at it about the optics of the stadium and the cool effect that you get when you build a stadium in the city. I remember driving to the Baltimore Orioles park. Obviously, that's right in the middle of the city. Mm-hmm. But the thing that I think you guys are talking about inconvenience, and that's true. But I think the biggest thing that realistically is probably the scariest thing is the amount of crime that is picked up in Philadelphia, not just in Philadelphia, in inner cities in general. And absolutely. I think it's going to be dangerous because I'm not going to lie. When I drive to I've only been there twice to the Orioles Stadium. Mm-hmm. I'm scared. At certain parts where I drive through there and I have no idea, if I'm going to get robbed. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I had that feeling. And I don't know, man. I just think it's a bad idea. I think you guys are spot on as far as, the inconvenience.
I think the crime part of it is a huge deal. And I think it's crazy that people aren't even like, it's not like they don't know about the crime. And every fan's response this morning, I've gone all throughout Twitter. I've seen 2 positives maybe, and everybody else is either saying inconvenience or crime.
What were the positives?
What's that?
What were the positives?
Jamie Lynch, I think he's on WIP or 94. He says he just loves the idea, and the other person says they loved it. I forget. It was just a no-name person I'd ever heard of. They just said they loved it because they're really close to SEPTA, and it'll look really cool. And I put it up, Jason, when you were talking. But this is what the proposed image. And, yeah, it looks really cool. And I bet you late at night lit up.
It also just looks plopped in the middle of a random spot.
Yeah. Look, they're going to, like I said, they're going to rearrange the streets around this. They're going to make it more appeasing and easier to get around. But it's terrible. It's terrible what it's going to do to the family. Look, you think the people in South Jersey or Delaware are going to drive? There's a lot of fans there. Southern Chester County, one of the biggest counties in our state. People aren't going to drive from Westchester and Kennett Square and Jennersville out to that stadium.
Yeah, you're alienating a big proportion of the fans, of the fan base. Not every single Sixers fan lives in the city. I mean, to ignore that is stupidity. I mean, you're gonna probably lose a lot of people being able to come to a live event. Yes, people with money always go to games. That's a given. But Cole, you're a perfect example.
I won't be here by then.
I won't either. Hopefully, I'll be in Florida by that. But if I'm still here in Philly in 2031, then something definitely changed.
No. That's where I hope to be, is in that area. But I won't be in where I am now.
Well, look, and there's other things that this affects. All the people that just invested all that money in that casino, that's less customers for them. All the people that work Xfinity Live, it's not going to be as packed on game nights. All the stadium workers at the Wells Fargo Center just lost 41 nights a year of jobs. What are they going to do? Go take another job over there? Yeah, some people get jobs over at the new stadium, but it's affecting so many different things. I don't know what the lease is right now at the Wells Fargo Center, but if I'm the Wells Fargo Center people, I'm kicking the Sixers out as soon as their lease is up, even if the new stadium's not done. I'm going to be pissed at them, and I'm going to kick them out, whoever it is that owns the Wells Fargo Center. Then you might have a stretch of time. Look, what about the kids, the younger people, the blue coats that practice in Delaware and then have to make it to the stadium for a short? Just the access to your new stadium down in Delaware isn't going to be as easily accessible for your organization. There are so many ripple effects to this decision, and I can't think of one positive thing about this. Not one. Money. Yeah, there is a positive. They are not using any taxpayer dollars. That is actually the only positive out of this. They are not asked, because I hate when teams ask the city for money to build $1 billion stadium. They're not asking. They're doing it all on their own. That is the only positive thing I can think of.
Because you want to know why? Because I guarantee you the city would not have given them money to put it in the center city.
Yeah.
The city would not have given them money for it to be in center city.
Yeah. Probably not.
The city's like,
they're going to have to make deals with SEPTA, with security companies. All those parking garages are going to be charging $70 a night to park in them. Are you going to want to leave that stadium and walk 3 blocks to a parking garage in the middle of Center City? The best way for somebody like me now to go see a game, I'll go get a hotel room for the night and have a valet park my car and get an Uber over to the stadium. That'll be the easiest way for me to see a Sixers game. And you know how much that's going to cost? That's ridiculous.
Money.
Dude, ticket prices through the roof as soon as that new stadium opens. Actually, Sixers prices at the Wells Fargo Center will go through the roof to start making some of this money that they need to build the stadium. Dude, I'm so frustrated.
I mean, honestly, another reason why I think it's, a bad idea is that I think it's cool to have all 4 of the professional sports teams playing in the same area. Like, that's not normal. Like, there are other cities that have it, but we're probably one of the only ones that,
it's not going to be
it's just the environment that it creates. And
I know, Jason,
I know they don't want to share with the Flyers. I understand that.
Or the Wings. You got to realize.
What's the problem with sharing a stadium? You both.
Yeah, when you share, but
listen, I understand that, but I think Cole's right. I think if you moved it to the Navy Yard, at least it's still in a similar area. It's not like it's like,
But why don't they want to share with the Flyers anymore?
They're not just sharing with the Flyers; they're sharing with the Wings too. That's
why. What's the problem with that?
I guess they don't want to share. Yeah,
it's money.
Dude, I don't know if you guys have ever done it, but there's nothing like the environment of when the Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, or Eagles,
I've been there,
Sixers, Flyers, all play at the same time or at the same day. The stadium.
The environment of
traffic is hell. I went to an Eagles game last year, and I think the Sixers or Flyers were playing that night, and the parking lot complex was a train wreck. But you know what? That atmosphere was electric. Fans coming from one game, going to the next, the partying going on, electric. I don't know. I think it's a bad and Positive Philly production saying here that there is still probably a chance that this is the proposed deal
until they start spending money on it.
Until they start actually breaking ground in 2 or 3 years. So many permits and there's going to be plenty of people that are fighting this. This is not a done deal to the extent that we're making it. There is still something that could stop this at some point. Hell, the fans could petition to stop this probably pretty easily.
I get it. Listen, I get why they didn't want to share with the Flyers, and I understand that they can't keep it in the complex. It's not possible to build a fourth stadium there. There's not space. I understand that if they built a fourth stadium there, that place would be a nightmare. That place would be. You want to talk about bad traffic? Imagine you have to go on the expressway and then go through the stadium complex with 4 stadiums and Xfinity Live. I get not wanting to share with the Wings and Flyers, but Center City was not the way to go. I understand you didn't want to go to New Jersey. The old Navy Yard was there. That was your perfect opportunity, your perfect spot. And I'm sure that there's a reason they didn't go there. But that's the part that gets to me. Why they didn't go to the Navy Yard.
Is there any place they could have gone down closer to like Chester? I'm sure there's a spot near the Union Stadium that they could have built that would still considered Philly to an extent. I mean, they're trying to revitalize that part of
they wanted to stay in the city. That's the thing. They wanted to be in Philadelphia.
And I get what Jason said, the optics, the look, the appearance that it's going to have with the city all lit up. It's going to look awesome on TV. And whoever's spending $1 billion to have their name put on the outside of the stadium is going to love that. But I just can't get behind this. Not at all. I can't. And like I said, I hope I've moved to Florida by that point because I barely go to Sixers games to begin with because I just for some reason haven't spent the money to go to a lot of Sixers games. But dude, I would not be spending all that money to go into Center City. I just wouldn't do it. I just won't. Jason.
Yeah, I mean, it's already expensive. It's going to only go up now, having a new stadium. You know, when new stadiums are built, the tickets are going to be more expensive. So, I mean, I can't already – I saw an article yesterday that the average family of 4 just to go to a baseball game is $254 in one shot. I mean, that's a lot of money, dude.
Yeah. That's the average because some of the Marlins and Pirates prices are so cheap. It's more than that to go to a Phillies game.
No, that's the average. That's the average if you go off of MLB.com. That's not and that's the average of food and parking and everything. The tickets themselves are not 200. Like the average.
No, but I'm saying the experience of going to a game is expensive already.
Yeah.
Now you're going to have the tickets are going to be, obviously more expensive, and at that point with inflation, it might cost $20 for one beer.
Dude,
it's going to be crazy. The Phillies game tomorrow, it's like $18 a ticket.
Yeah, but Cole, I get that. I'm talking about a family of 4 that, in these times when it's hard to go to a game. Like the ticket itself is cheap, yes. But who's going to the game and just going to the game and not buying 7 beers and whatever? I mean, think about it. It's just not happening.
The ticket prices themselves will go up. The parking prices, the limited parking prices will go up. Hell, I guarantee SEPTA's prices will go up.
I mean, the Flyers are raising their ticket prices after they just had this debacle.
The Flyers aren't the Flyers should sell the team and just move out of Philly.
They're not a Philly team. Already the most expensive sport in professional sports to go to a game.
This is going to be bad for the Wells Fargo Center as well. I have a lot of fond memories of the Wells Fargo Center. I do have the Spectrum as well, Cole. You probably never got to go to the Spectrum. I have plenty of fond memories there. But the Wells Fargo Center losing the Sixers, what are they going to do with that stadium? That's 41 regular season games, playoff games, regular season games, preseason games. They're going to lose a lot of revenue in that stadium. That's going to be a problem for that stadium as well. You're going to see the quality of that stadium go down because they're going to lose a lot of the money that helps, keep that stadium going. So there's a lot of trickle effects that's going to go into this. And it's going to be an interesting story as it goes on. I think we're all in agreement. It's a bad idea, right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to move on. Let's get to the topic of the day, the topic I wanted to talk about today. I mean, because I'm sure we'll continue talking the stadium as – look, we don't even have all the information on the stadium. It was literally released early this morning, this information, and very little was given. I'm sure there'll be a press conference later. Ooh, I love this. I love this right here. There we go. That's the answer. That is the answer I was hoping for right there. A WNBA team will move into the Wells Fargo Center in the Sixers' place. Love it. Love that idea. And if the Sixers already didn't like sharing, when we get a WNBA team in Philadelphia, they'd be sharing again. WNBA team in the Wells Fargo Center. Or maybe the Sixers already have a plan in place to build this stadium and have the Sixers and whoever the WNBA team.
Oh, is Philly getting a WNBA team?
What's that?
Is Philly getting a WNBA team?
I mean, it's been talked about for 20 years now, but they are on the short list when they expand in the next year or two. The Sixers,
They
or the
have to,
Philadelphia.
they have to be the only team with. If they get a WNBA team, they have to be the only city other than like New York that has every single professional sports team. Like
We are the
every
biggest
single
city.
professional.
We are the biggest sports market without a WNBA team, so we will get one at some point. So I love it. CC, that's a great comment right there. I love it. All right, so today's topic originally we were going to start out with was kind of comes around with the Jesse Bates talk to the Eagles. I need you guys to talk about guys, one player that the Phillies, the Eagles, the Sixers could realistically, it's got to be realistic, because trading for Mike Trout or Juan Soto, that's not realistic. Ohtani, it's not realistic. A realistic player that these teams, our franchises, could grab in a trade, free agency, whatever it may be. I mean, we're not mad at everything, Scotty. Come on now. Not mad at everything.
It's not the arena I don't like. It's the location.
Yeah, Scotty, you
live in the city. Yeah, you live in
it.
the city, so this is great for you.
But probably 70% of the fan base does not live in the city.
Probably should have brought Scotty on for this.
Yeah,
segment.
I know. Scotty would have been great for that segment.
Yeah.
All right.
Would have had a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, one player that these teams could bring in that would change your confidence level for the upcoming season. Like Jesse Bates, if the Eagles brought him in, which it is realistic, there is a trade to be made. He is going to be traded soon. We could get him, whether it's a second-round pick, Andre Dillard, whatever. Our confidence level would drastically change. We already are pretty confident about the Eagles. Bringing him in would boost that to another level. We would be talking, instead of division, contenders, maybe conference contenders. So we need players for the Sixers, Phillies, and Eagles that we realistically can get that change our confidence level. So, Cole, do you have a player that you want? Well, you can have more than one, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not going to use the Eagles to Jesse Bates. It's simple as that.
That's so obvious, that answer right there.
Yeah. For the Phillies, I would say it's it's either Andrew Benintendi or Ian Happ, a center fielder that can make contact, that's a solid hitter, plays solid defense. That's literally just a center fielder. That's exactly what it is. And the Sixers, Scotty's going to love this one because I completely agree with him. It's Jordan Clarkson, a guard off the bench that can shoot. We have no guards coming off the bench. That is exactly what the Sixers need. And Jordan Clarkson he's won Sixth Man of the Year before for a reason. He's a stud. I mean, they have De'Anthony Melton. I'm sorry. They have De'Anthony Melton coming off the bench. But they also have George Niang, Daniel House, and PJ Tucker, and then maybe even B-Ball Paul, or I'm not going to say Charles Bassey, coming off the bench, who are forwards. They need to spread it out a bit, and Jordan Clarkson fits that perfectly. And I know they have Shake and Firkin, but they both are garbage. I hate to tell you guys, Shake Milton and Furkan Korkmaz are not good.
Right. All right.
So I would say Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, so that was Scotty's prediction or goal was Jordan Clarkson. I kind of feel like Jordan Clarkson is a guy I've wanted on the Sixers now for 2 or 3 years because he's that scoring punch off the bench that we've severely lacked. Guy that can just get buckets at any time. Hell, when we got George Hill a few years back, I wanted Jordan Clarkson that year instead of George Hill because we needed that kind of player coming off our bench. It keeps Furkan Korkmaz, keeps Shake Milton on the bench. I don't know about Scotty yesterday said you would have to trade Matisse Thybulle for Jordan Clarkson. I don't know if – I know it makes it work money-wise, but I don't know if that's the type of guy I'm willing to move that trade chip for because Matisse is a trade piece right there. I don't know. I would try to find a way to make it work without moving Matisse, whether it's Furkan and Shake or even, hell, Bassey or Paul, if they've got to get involved in that. I don't know. There's got to be something else there for that trade. But I want to backtrack to the Benintendi and Ian Happ with the Phillies. I know, Jason, you've got a lot of Philly names that you want to see them bring in. Let's just take one of those names, Ian Benintendi.
What?
Excite you? Didn't you say
Andrew
Ian Benintendi said, let's take one
Ian
name.
Benintendi, and Andrew Happ. Yeah, I'm combining names. I'm creating people out of thin air here. I don't know if they're the names that would put us over the top, Jason. What are your thoughts on those two names?
I mean, I'm not opposed to those two guys, but I think the Phillies need pitching more than offense, and my targets are Frankie Montas or Luis Castillo, and they are attainable. Yes, you would have to give up a lot, but I want a guy in my pitching staff that's controllable next year. If you look, Kyle Gibson and Zach Eflin are both free agents, so they are not signed past this year. Luis Castillo and Frankie Montas are both controllable through next year. So you would not only be trading for them now for this playoff run, you would have them next year. You would have your third starter. To me, I think that's the move that you got to make if you realistically want to show that you're really in this and you want to win, because I'm banking on the fact that you're going to get Bryce Harper back. I mean, I believe in Bryce Harper. I think he's a guy that he's extremely in great shape. I mean, he works out. I'm kind of looking at it as he has that. If anybody could come back from that type of injury, it's him. I mean, he's had injury history, but he's come back fairly quickly. And we saw what he did last year when he came back from getting hit in the head. I mean, that first part of his season, he was struggling, and then he had probably one of the best second halves of his career. So I'm banking on getting him back. And all talk is that Segura will be back in the next 2 weeks. So you're getting 2 bats. It's almost like you're adding bats at the deadline. So my target's starting pitching. And that's just, like I said, maybe if you don't get Castillo or, Montage, you get maybe a lower level type guy like Carter has said. That's just stupid for you to even put up there, Carter. That's moronic.
It's more because
I know you're trolling, but yes, that's. First of all, I think Juan Soto is a diva. Why would I want to trade the heart and soul
we
of the
talked
Phillies
about that the other day
for a guy that I don't even know if he cares about more about money or about playing baseball? Because he
I just
obviously
don't think he
doesn't.
wants to play for the Nationals. I just think he doesn't want to play for the Nationals.
Yeah, but why would you want to trade for a guy like that?
Oh
Because
no, I'm not trading Bryce Harper for him. No way.
3 years from now, he wouldn't want to play for the Phillies. That's the way I look at it.
I'm not trading Bryce Harper for him by any stretch. But I mean, if we found a way to deal with Monson that didn't include any like Bryce Harper or something, give me it. He's a top 5 player in baseball.
And he's 23, 24 years old.
You're not going to get Juan Soto unless you trade half your team. Like, it's obvious. The guys.
You have to trade Painter, Abel.
You'd be trading every single prospect you have.
And
Painter, Abel, JT, bring him in.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll disagree with that.
All
right. So I had somebody comment in here for the Phillies, and I think this goes to Jason's point with Luis Castillo with the Reds, and the Reds have a lot of options. Brandon Drury. Could you make a combo deal? Get a Brandon Drury in here who could play multiple positions as your bat, your backup bat, your extra bat, and then get Luis Castillo. Is that a combo deal that you'd be willing to make that would make you feel confident going into this playoff run?
Yeah, I said that on last week's show when we talked about it. That's the trade I actually was looking at, and it doesn't have to be. Brandon Drury. It could be somebody else, but I don't know. I'd have to look at their outfield. Their center fielders. But usually that's the kind of deals that you can make. When one of these pitchers is available, a lot of times you'll get a throw-in guy, to help,
sweeten the pot.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Like I said, is it a definite? No, but is it possible? Yes. And does it help the team? I mean, I think it's obvious that when you have 2 guys that aren't signed, so you're basically banking on this year, and that's it. If you want to trade for a rental, like a Kyle Gibson, like a lower level guy, I'm okay with that because your pitching staff right now is in shambles. Besides obviously Wheeler and Nola, I mean Eflin might not even be back this year. At this point, I think you brought that up 2 shows ago that you don't see Eflin coming back.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm not.
So John McGork, I think he's the one that actually tweeted the Drury comment to me. But he's saying the Cardinals are going to go hard after Montas, so he thinks Happ and Hendricks can get done, and that would give him the confidence that this team is legitimately a contender.
Yeah, I just think there's
Sure.
too much competition for Montas to the
Yeah.
point where you're gonna have to give up an Andrew Painter or something. Where I'm not okay with that because Andrew Painter, as literally Cotter's literally saying
saying
now, is
Painter would be better than Montas potentially.
oh no,
Potentially.
you used the word potentially. That's not the word he used.
I know, but see, that's the thing with prospects. There's potential there. You don't know for sure.
So I mean, they're going to bring in Luis Castillo. What are you going to give up? Do you have to give up Rhys Hoskins? Do you have to give up Andrew Painter? There's certain guys I don't want to give up. And then it comes down to also what do you think the pitching market's going to be like in the offseason? Because you're going to lose Kyle Gibson more than likely. You could lose Zach Eflin, which depends on who you're bringing in. I mean, we are going to have a lot of not a lot, but we're going to have some money heading into this offseason because we're getting Didi off the books, Gene off the books, Gibson's $8 million is going to be off the books. Eflin's $6 million is going to be off the books.
Corey Knebel only signed a 1-year deal.
Corey Knebel's $10 million that they gave him for will be off the books. I don't know. Hopefully Jerry's Familia is off the books and never to be seen again. Or is he signed a 2-year?
I think it was a 1-year deal.
That'd be nice if he was off the books now.
Yeah. They're going to have a lot of wiggle room, and I know that they're going to be looking at guys like Trey Turner and Andrew Benintendi, but they're also going to have to address pitching. So this Phillies team's goal is to make the playoffs. So the Phillies. It's harder to sit there and be like, to feel more confident to make a run. It depends. Do you mean make a run to a World Series?
Right now, I'm talking to the playoffs.
Okay.
Each team is different. Like an Eagles move, because we're already assuming the Eagles are going to make the playoffs.
I would say maybe the Eagles.
Yeah, the Sixers move would be to win a title. The Phillies move right now is to guarantee
the playoffs.
The confidence that they can.
And a Flyers move is to win more than 5 games. It's like simple as that.
Exactly.
So,
every team has a different goal at this.
Exactly.
Point.
Yeah. So we're
talking about these bigger names for the Phillies. Would your confidence level be better or how would you feel if they don't if they just do another Kyle Gibson type move, like a Jose Quintana, a guy that's been banned the last couple of years but had a good season this year, that's under, who's a rental basically.
What are we giving up for him?
A lot less because he's a rental.
But are we giving up a Rhys Hoskins or an Andrew Painter?
You might. You're not giving up a Painter for Jose Quintana.
No, if you're giving up Rhys Hoskins, you might have to give
up an O'Hop, but you could probably get a Jose Quintana for a lesser prospect. Probably
lesser prospect than O'Hoppe. Lesser prospect. He was a top 100 prospect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying less than that.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say.
But that quality of a player, is that giving you the confidence that the Phillies are making a serious, legit run at the playoffs?
It doesn't change my confidence now.
No? Okay.
No, my confidence would be the exact same. Okay. And I'd actually be more pissed off if they gave up a Rhys Hoskins or something for Jose Quintana's 37-year-old self.
Right.
That's like, you're okay at pitch. Like, your pitching has been better. I mean, not your starting, but your bullpen has been better recently.
Yeah.
You get 2.5 solid starts every rotation. You get a solid start out of Wheeler and Nola, and then you get 1 solid start out of Gibson, Suarez, Eflin, or the bullpen. So you're in a position where you can win series still. As of now, you are in the playoffs. It would seem like a backwards move if you traded for a boom or bust guy like Jose Quintana, who's been solid this year.
Yeah, he's been really solid.
But he's also been completely trashed for 3-4 years prior. It just seems like it would seem like what they're doing is they're doing too much to win now. And they still need to set themselves up for the next 2 or 3 years because that's when they're going to have a shot to win the whole thing.
I agree with Rojas as the expendable guy for sure. I think Mickey Moniak might have some market in some of these smaller teams that need a prospect. All right, so sorry, Jason, I never got your answer. Are you same confidence level if they just get a lower level guy that they're making a thing, or do you need
absolutely not? I think it. I mean, you're talking about the difference between Lucas. Why am I calling him Lucas?
Because I called Ian Cap.
Exactly.
Ian Kent is something I almost called him
Castillo, Frankie Montas. They're kind of needle mover guys. I mean, they're guys.
No. We're talking about like Jose. We're talking about like Jose Quintana. We're not talking about like he's a lower level guy.
I know what he's talking about. I said if we got those guys, my confidence is going to move up. If we got a guy like Quintana, it's probably the same as you.
Yeah,
okay, it stays the same or less. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get excited over you know, I mean, unless you're giving up a bag of balls for that guy, yeah. I mean, at that point, it's like, okay. And let's not forget, if you looked last year, I remember like all these people that were hyping up the fact that you would have to give up so much prospect capital to get all these guys. I remember specifically we were talking about closers, and there was a closer in Pittsburgh that at the time was really good, and I bet they gave up like their maybe 50th or 40th prospect to get this guy. So it's not like these deals always take, some massive prospect guy to get. It depends on who's in on it, how much competition there is in the trade market. It's going to depend on a lot of things like that. So until you see
random name, guys,
names
random
start going
name, I
up,
want to hear you guys. I want to hear your thoughts on the rumor that broke yesterday that the Phillies would be in on Noah Syndergaard. It's another rental with the Angels. He's not had a bad year. He's not had a great year. We do need arms. Whether we get Montas, Quintana, any of these guys.
What are we giving up? It's hard. It's harder with baseball because it's hard because I can't say I want Syndergaard if I don't know what I'm giving up. If we're giving up on
you're
a
not
Hoppy
giving up
or
much because he's got signed to a $21 million one-year deal. So you're getting a rental. He's going to probably have about $8 or $9 million left on the books. You're going to have to get the Angels to pay some of that. You're going to have to. The more the Angels cover the salary, the more you've got to give up. If you're going to eat most of that salary, you're going to be able to give up a low-level B prospect for Noah Syndergaard.
Because it's literally a one-year deal.
And
he's not coming back to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jason, you kind of shook your head no on that.
I think he's an injury risk.
In the words of Jason, if you're giving up a bag of balls, then
he's an injury risk. But yeah, if you're giving up nothing, as as Carter said in the comments, a mid-level prospect, then yeah, take a shot. But I'm not like jumping for joy that we got Noah Syndergaard. Like,
I'll say this.
Like I said, he's a guy. He has dominant stuff when he's on. He does. I'll give him that. But I'm looking at the injury thing, and I just don't like trading for injury concerns in general, especially when we already have a lot of injuries on this team.
It's fair enough. It's just it's a name that was circulating the rumor mill yesterday, so I wanted to make sure I bring it up. So we talk about the Phillies, and we need those big moves. The little moves don't bring us confidence. And then when we talk Sixers, Jordan Clarkson, I don't want to call him a little move, but he's not the Kevin Durant type move. So Jordan Clarkson creates confidence in us even more. But then another person commented they want to see the Sixers go out and get Donovan Mitchell. And look, it sounds unrealistic. But if you're talking about the Sixers getting Kevin Durant, Donovan Mitchell's in place as well then. You would have to give up Tyrese Maxey to bring in Donovan Mitchell. You're not doing that.
No, because
I'm asking the question.
Donovan Mitchell's not in the same stratosphere as Kevin Durant.
He's not.
They're not comparable. Kevin Durant's the top 3 player in the world. Donovan Mitchell might be top 15. Like, that is insane. You would have to give up.
Donovan Mitchell and James Harden as your backcourt is a lot more likely to win a title this year than James Harden and Tyrese Maxey.
But you're also the next 5 years. You know what the Jazz asked for? 7 first-round picks, or the equivalent to.
There's no way they asked for 7 first-round picks.
They asked for, but it was 7 first-round picks and no players. It was like 7 first-round picks and no players, or something like that.
They never asked for that. There's no way they would, in their right mind, want to trade a guy and ask for that. It's an impossible.
I'm not trading. I'm not giving up Tyrese Maxey for Donovan Mitchell. The gap is going to slowly shrink each year.
Okay.
Donovan Mitchell's I don't think Donovan Mitchell's going to get astronomically better. The room for Tyrese Maxey to get astronomically better is insane. The potential on Tyrese Maxey is ridiculous. For a guy like Kevin Durant, who is a top 3, top 5 scorer of all time and a top 3 player in the world right now, yeah, I'm giving up Tyrese Maxey. But for a guy who might not crack the top 15 player in the league, no.
Hey, I got to bring up the points that are put on my Twitter page that are people asking me to have these conversations talking about.
Who's this guy? Let me know. What was this man on?
I can't pull it up at this exact second, but it was under the comments. He actually commented on the show already today. He was the same one that wanted Yeah, here, this guy right here, my man John McGorry.
John, what are you doing, man?
Hey, it's a thing. Jason, would you trade Tyrese Maxey right now for a near guaranteed title this year, even if it means the future of the team is hurt? That's how I'm phrasing it.
I wouldn't say no. There's no guarantee. You can't phrase it as a near guaranteed title because it's not. I think with Donovan Mitchell, I don't like. You still are gonna have to deal with the Warriors. You still are going to see where Kevin Durant goes. I wouldn't say near. It would make you. I would say this. It would make you top 5 contender to win the title. One of the top 5 favorites to win the title.
It's a thought. Jason, any thoughts on it?
I'm not trading Maxey unless it's for Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Or a guy of his caliber. And I don't care that, people will say, well, yeah, you're winning. There's never a guarantee of winning a championship. There's not, because Embiid could go down for the season. You'd be out. Like, there's no guarantee. I look at this team as the Sixers, and besides Embiid, the only guy I have hope for, like, long-term for their future is Maxey. Mm-hmm. And I think Maxey, as Cole said, still has a lot of room to kind of hit. He's definitely not hit his ceiling. Mm-hmm. And I mean, yeah, if you're talking Kevin Durant, I'm not going to be like, other people and be like, I'm not trading him for Kevin Durant. That would just be ridiculous. Yeah, but I'm not going to trade him for a guy that's, fairly. I mean, how old's Donovan Mitchell? I mean, how old is he right now?
Okay, then all right. I'm sorry, John. It was.
Let me.
What are you guys doing?
What's that?
Phil made it seem like
you doing. I asked how old Donovan Mitchell was, and I saw it go like this.
24, 25 years old.
So he's not old.
I'm pulling up the exact tweet as you guys are talking here. But hang on.
I just saw the exact tweet. I'm sorry, John. That's my fault. I'm sorry if I snapped that. He's 25. He'll be 26 by the time the season starts.
Okay.
So
he's still fairly young. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking he was older.
I'm pretty sure Tyrese Maxey's my age.
It was Phillies, Brandon Drury, Sixers, Donovan Mitchell, Eagles, Jesse Bates from him. At least he would do it for Harrison Tybal, but not Maxey, Isaiah Joe, any of the other guys, Bassey, Paul Reed. All right, well, you're not going to get Donovan Mitchell if you're not including Tyrese Maxey in the deal anyway. Yeah, sorry, putting words in mouth. That's not my favorite thing, my best moment there. All right, so then let's go Eagles. All right, let's just get off that Sixers conversation. Obviously, Jesse Bates is the obvious answer that changes the equation for the Eagles. And he is available. I think he is gettable. We talked about it this week multiple times. He is gettable. We had Brian Cameron on, earlier this week from Philadelphia Sports Network. He is gettable. Is that the only guy that's available right now that would change your perception of this Eagles team? Because I'm honestly, I was doing some research. I found one other name. I'm going to throw it out there in a few moments. But Jesse Bates is available by a trade. Is there anybody out there you think could become available? We really don't have many holes on this Eagles team at this point. We have a quarterback, and we have safety issues.
I have a guy.
Okay.
He's a free agent. Okay. And I think that he would
up on my screen.
He would provide. I know it's not a position that you guys are probably thinking, but I would sign Julio Jones if you could get him for cheap. He's still unsigned. Mm-hmm. Hey, honestly, how could it hurt to have a guy like that? How could it hurt? Because you're talking.
You're right. It can't hurt. It can't hurt.
On the cheap, as your third wide receiver, and you would. I'm just looking at it as.
What do you do with your wide receiver? If you do that, what do you do with your wide receiver group then? So you go. You go Jones, Brown, Smith, Julio Jones. Then you got Quez Watkins as your 4. Then you still got Pascal, Ward, Reagor.
Are you cutting Ward or Reagor?
Yeah, you're cutting. You're cutting.
I'm trading Reagor for a 7th or whatever you're going to get for him.
Yeah, but I'll say this. That's a good point that Kata makes. That's what I was going to get to. He would have an issue with not getting the ball as much as he would want.
I don't believe that.
I absolutely do.
I don't believe it because he's still unsigned. I think he's a guy. Everyone just says that. People called AJ Brown a diva. Like every wide receiver is considered a diva in today's society.
Yeah, that's a fair point. All wide receivers are divas.
I mean, if you realistically think that, then okay, yeah, then stay away. But I'm just throwing it out there as he's a guy that's unsigned, and you asked who would help your team, and I just said how would he hurt? I mean, unless you're giving him $12 million a year, which I don't think at this point he's not signed. So he's probably not signed because he's not getting the money that he wants. So
I don't know if is that enough to change your confidence level in the Eagles going forward? Is Julio Jones going to be enough of a needle mover to take the Eagles from probable division winners to, I'm calling the Eagles potentially being a top 3 team in the NFC? Jesse Bates lock that top 3 seed in my opinion.
Yeah.
Julio Jones does not necessarily lock that in.
I'll say this.
I don't think Jesse Bates locks it in either.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I'm in the camp that I think the Eagles are okay at safety. I know Carter's been saying that for a while. Like, I don't think you need Jesse. Everyone's like stuck on this, like, I need Jesse Bates. But the way that the Eagles defense has moved and they've changed their philosophy, you know that they're going to be using different formations. When you fix your linebackers, which has been a problem with this team for forever, safety becomes secondary. When you don't have good linebackers, your safeties are on an island. But when you have better linebackers, you don't need a top-of-the-line safety. All right, listen, if we could get him, we get him. And I'm not going to complain. I'm just saying that everyone's ultra-focused on this, like as if this team isn't good already. And that's where I'm at. Like, I don't think you have to get Jesse
I got a name. If you cannot get Jesse Bates, I disagree. I still think safety's weak. And even with the improved linebacker and the defensive front 4 and how great the front 7 in general is going to be this year, I still have zero confidence in Anthony Harris and whoever's the opposite guy, whether it's Marcus.
But when your cornerbacks are better, your safeties don't have to be great.
You're right, but let's be honest. Bradbury has to prove that he's got it again because he got beat up a lot last year. He got cooked a lot
on a bad team in bad situations. Like,
I get it, but at the same time, we saw how we've brought in guys before who've come from bad teams and bad situations. Outside of Darius Slay, I can't think of one that's really worked in my lifetime.
I guess I'm not, like I said, I'm not disagreeing, and I'm not saying that I don't want him. I'm just saying that everyone is like, it's like boom or bust. If we don't get Jesse Bates, oh my God. Like,
no. I still say they're going to contend for that number 3 seed in the conference. But I'm talking about locking that 3 seed up with Jesse Bates. Or here's a name. So you're saying a guy that's unsigned in Julio Jones that can make a difference. There's another veteran guy that's unsigned at the safety position, Landon Collins. Landon Collins to me is better than Anthony Harris. Landon Collins is better than Marcus Epps at this point. He's still available. He's played for the Dallas. He's played Cowboys in Washington or
Washington in New York.
And New York. He's got the knowledge of the division. Landon Collins to me is an upgrade over what we have. Won't cost you what Jesse Bates will, but will improve that safety position.
Didn't he say he hates Philadelphia or something?
He may have. I don't really care. Once the paycheck comes in, you love the city all of a sudden. So
he's all in all. For Julio Jones, I would kind of be like the Jose Quintana move. I would just be like, okay, Julio Jones.
Great, I like that comparison.
It's just like, except Julio Jones is the exact opposite of Jose Quintana prior to last season. But you could tell last season he wasn't the same. Age doesn't hit you in any other sport like it does in football. That's where age affects you the most by a large margin. And he's getting up there in age. So, yeah, he would be a solid wide receiver 3, but he could also if it is true that he's going to be upset that he's not getting the ball as much as he would like, because let's be honest, the Eagles are going to run the ball more than they are going to run the ball a lot still. They're number 1 rushing offense in the league last year. A.J. Brown's going to get targets over him. Devontae Smith's going to get targets over him. Dallas Goedert's going to get targets over him. Then who's really your slot receiver? So Quez Watkins is still going to be.
I think it always comes down to whether you want to win a championship or not. If he's at that point in his career, he hasn't won a championship. He almost did with Atlanta. but
Mhm.
they blew it. Remember against the Patriots when they were up 28-3 or whatever it was. I think, yeah, Brian Dawkins.
Yeah,
I don't think
Brian
don't
Dawkins
think-
right now might be better than Marcus Epps and Anthony
I
Harris.
don't think Julio Jones moves the Eagles from a potential division champion to a Super Bowl champions. I think that there's a lot better teams that he could go to win a Super Bowl if that's what's his number one thing.
He could go to Green
That's
Bay.
a good point.
Green
That's a
Bay.
good point.
Yeah,
I haven't heard him linked.
Yeah, I haven't heard him
I
linked.
haven't heard him linked to the Eagles.
No.
I've heard him linked to Indy,
Indy and Green
Matt
Bay.
Ryan, or Green Bay because they need a receiver.
They need a receiver. They need
Yeah.
a receiver bad.
I don't know. I just think it's interesting to think about, what Jason said, whether the safety is important enough to upgrade. Because look, if you go get Jesse Bates is going to cost you probably a second-round pick on Andre Dillard. And Carter brings up a great point. Backup tackle is as important, if not more. Because Lane Johnson's going to miss time probably. Jordan Mailata's got to slide over there. You give up Andre Dillard, your backup left tackle. I know people don't like Andre Dillard, but Andre Dillard filled in pretty damn admirable last year. And we know how bad backup linemen can be in the past. Does hurting your depth on the offensive line to help your starting safety, is it worth it? When you can go out and get Landon Collins or just roll with what you got? I don't know. I think it's an interesting thought process right there. Would you want to give up that good stuff for Jesse Bates? Is there anybody else out there? I mean, I looked at the free agent list. There is not much available in NFL free agency at this point. So it would most likely have to be a trade or somebody that's
The Eagles.
Can we ever just like look at it and be satisfied with?
no.
Oh, absolutely satisfied. I wouldn't say satisfied.
I'm asking you if we could be satisfied to the point where we develop some players. Like, I like Kevon Wallace. I'm not saying he's a stud, but can we let the guy at least play some? And maybe I don't know. They have young guys. Like, we're all like ultra focused on like these superstars, but I just sometimes I think, okay, you can't just fix every single problem. Like, and yeah, we've seen that with this Eagles, with the super team when they tried to win, with signing everybody, and it didn't work. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't like Jesse Bates. I'm not saying I don't think he's great, but I'm just saying that, is it the be all end all if we don't get the guy? That's what
we're still a good team without him. But the point is, you're saying, let Kayvon Wallace develop. Look, I'm not going to say I was hyped just like everybody else was. The initial comparisons when we drafted him were he's a Brian Dawkins light, et cetera, et cetera. Look, the people that are in that office, in that stadium, in that team organization, he's been here now for a few years. We're going to his third year now, and he still hasn't been able to show to the people that matter that he's worth an opportunity. That's why they brought back Anthony Harris. That's why they went out and got Ja'Cory Tart, because he's proving to them inside that he's just not good enough at this point. So whether he's got the chance or not, he can't even get in on special teams and make a statement on special teams regularly. So, yeah, I think
sometimes it takes an injury.
That opportunity. What's that?
Well, sometimes it takes an injury to have an opportunity. Like, say Anthony Harris goes down, then you kind of have to have, guys that can play. I mean, I don't know. I just see this team draft a lot of guys, and then we don't necessarily let them develop. I'm not saying that, Kevon Wallace is going to become the superstar. I'm just saying that maybe let's see what he could do. Like, let the guy play a little bit. I haven't seen him in a full game.
He has been given opportunities in the last 2 years.
He has.
He's missed a lot of tackles. He's been burned on defense a few times. He just looks Kayvon Wallace looks like a guy that when he got drafted, his issue was he was too big and slow to play cornerback, but too small and not strong enough to play safety. And he didn't get stronger or he didn't get faster to play. He's a man without a position, and that's his problem. He just can't find a role because he's not good enough to play cornerback, but he's not strong enough to play safety. There's something missing with him, and he's been given opportunities, and they haven't been a lot of opportunities, Jason. But the opportunities he's been given, he has not capitalized on them. He has not grabbed that brass ring like he needs to when he's being given that opportunity. And definitely on special teams. All these guys, these second, third string cornerbacks and safeties, they got to take advantage of special team ops, and he doesn't take advantage of those either. So I'm not saying it's over for Kayvon Wallace, but saying that Wallace, Epps, and Anthony Harris and Tart is good enough to go from, maybe a 4 or 5 seat to a 3 seat. I think it's still a weakness that could expose us at some point.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I just disagree, but
No,
I think
fine. We got one other quick fun topic. I got bashed on not bashed, but my man said something here on Twitter the other day. Yesterday. Actually, no, I got 2 things real quick. Sorry, I forgot. I saw a really bad hot take yesterday. So we're gonna get to the heat in a second. Saw a really bad hot take yesterday, guys. There's a guy going around Twitter tweeting out that the Eagles should bring back Jason Peters. And he's a credentialed guy. I'm not gonna say his name. Listen.
Say his name.
I'm not saying his name, but he knows.
No. Well, this isn't the McSofty show. This is not the McSofty show.
Nope,
if you say something stupid, oh Jesus, send me the tweet and I'll say his name.
I will. I already called him out for it, and he refused to answer my response. Dude, I know the Juan Soto Bryce Harper talk was clickbait 101 from Joe Gigliotti, whatever his name is. But man, saying Jason Peters needs to be brought back because he's 40, he's still got something left in the tank, et cetera.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. More injuries. That's all I see. That's all that's left in the tank is more injuries. If we want to trot somebody that's ready to go to the retirement home straight out there, we call up Markup, and we send him out there. But no,
why do you always got to make fun of us old people, man?
not nice.
Yeah, stop making
it's Mark. It's Mark. Mark will deal with it at Thanksgiving. Yeah, Mark can handle it. We'll talk to you about it at Thanksgiving.
When you meet his daughter.
Yeah. Cole already invited me to Mark's Thanksgiving dinner.
Jason, you can come too.
Has access to that.
You can come too, Jason.
The retirement.
Phil's allowed to bring a +1, and it's Jason. Jason Peters eats dinner at 2:30. Jason Peters eats dinner at 2. And it's smashed green. I shouldn't say that's not nice. Jason Peters was a solid dude.
I got to get your guys' take on this, okay? Jason Ashworth, I love Jason. The first Fanatic Dream Job winner. And I don't know if you guys, Cole might be even too young to remember the Dream Job contest at the Fanatic. That was really cool. He's a really cool follower on Twitter. He used to be part of Eagles Outsiders. He used to host that show years ago. He put out a tweet yesterday, and I agreed with it. It's hot out. I get it. But damn, I'll take the hot weather over a foot of snow all day, every day. Jump in the pool, head to the beach, find a lake, stay in your air conditioning, whatever.
Yeah.
Dead summer is way better than dead of winter. Yes. I said it's not a hot take, just a cold fact that this is right here. And my man, Michael DeMaria, I did not know this, but my brother has actually gotten some of his union workers to listen to this show. So anybody at Union, at Local 454 that's listening, power to you. I know, working outside, pile drivers, man, that's a hot job. But standing next to a 500-degree oven every day, like I do, is just as bad as working outside as a pile driver, as a welder, as a carpenter, all of those guys, as ditch diggers. And I'll still take standing next to
Is your brother a Teamster?
What's that?
Is your brother a Teamster?
My brother is a pile driver, a union pile driver.
Okay. I didn't know if he was. You said he.
But if I can handle staying next to a 500-degree oven and prefer it in the summertime is a way better time than the deep of winter. Am I wrong or right, guys?
I'm going to tell you something. Those guys out there working in the hot sun, doing pile driving and construction, all that, it's a lot hotter for them than it is for you in your lightly. I'll say lightly because I know you said you didn't have great air conditioning. You're lightly air conditioned.
I don't run the air condition at my pizza shop.
Fan running?
One fan.
I'll tell you what, it's
about 120 degrees next to my pizza oven. I have a little thermometer next to it. About 120 degrees next to my oven.
How long are you there next to your pizza oven?
Yesterday, it was only 9 hours yesterday, but it's anywhere between 9 and 12 hours a day that I'm there.
Like you're staying next to your pizza oven for the whole 12 hours.
I mean, I walk around the restaurant, but I'm in that restaurant all day long.
I don't know. I would take it being in the pizza shop than being a pile driver outside in the heat. But I would definitely take the summer over the winter.
Jason?
I like the. I can't stand the heat, can't stand the cold. But if you have to pick one, I guess I'm taking the heat because I can't stand the snow and I can't stand cold weather. Like, I hate it.
Snow's nice around Christmas. Snow's nice until January, and then it becomes a pain.
Snow is a pain in the ass, whether it's a quarter of an inch.
You're telling me you don't like a little snowfall on Christmas morning? All right, Mr. Grinch.
Not at all.
I hate it. We'll spray paint you green on Christmas then.
Why? I love Christmas. Christmas is my favorite holiday.
Yeah, it should be. It should be everybody's. Christmas is the greatest thing ever.
Christmas, but I hate the snow. There is nothing worse than getting up and walking outside and having snow on the ground. Nothing worse than it. Having to brush your car off, worry about whether you're wrecking your car on the way to work. No, I hate the snow. Absolutely hate it. And I feel for the pile drivers, man. And I'm so happy that my brother actually let somebody listen to this show and told somebody. I mean, he doesn't listen to the show, but I'm glad his coworkers listen to the show. So, that's a positive thing. But they're wrong. Totally wrong.
His coworkers are showing sports to his little brother.
Is this the brother I met at your house at your get together?
I don't know which ones you've met. He's the one with the little son. So
How many brothers do you have, Phil?
I have 3 brothers and a sister. So there's 5 Stifle kids. So
Are you the oldest?
I am not. I have an older brother. So he's 47.
Is that the union guy or is that the?
No. One of my younger brothers is the union guy. So yeah, but we come from a long line of union workers in this family. So
Yeah, you're a business owner. I'm sure that goes over. Goes over well.
we talked about this earlier, Carter. Snow football is not amazing. I'm for Pat McAfee putting a dome on every single stadium so you have the same consistent weather across the league, and there's no weather.
That Eagles Lions game, Snow Bowl was amazing, bro.
Yeah, it was fun-ish. It affected the outcome of the game.
What?
Don't worry, Cole. I'm with you on this one. Me and Phil went at it one day about this subject. I said, no way. We're not putting domes on every state.
No, Philadelphia, no. The link doesn't. Why would you want to put a link on the dome?
He's such a party pooper. He wants to sort of like go to hate it.
No. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Just keep putting all his trash. Yeah, exactly. All right, we got to wrap this show up. This has been a blast. Thank you to everybody tuning in. We had a boatload of people watching Facebook, YouTube. Make sure you're following. Make sure you're subscribing, sharing the show out. And make sure, like I said, like and subscribe to this video on YouTube if you can. I don't know if we hit 600 while we were doing this show.
I'll check real quick.
We were 1 away from 600 at the start of the show. We probably lost our subscribers during this show.
One person we haven't shown in the show in a while.
What's that?
We haven't shown somebody
there
in a while.
Go. Yeah, Steve Nash. I love it. Kevin Nash. I love it. It's the greatest picture ever made mid-show there, Cole. Everybody have a great day. Stay cool. It is going to be hot. I think I saw on the news that today might be the hottest of them all. And you spelled my last name wrong.
He spelled his name with an E.
Yeah, he spelled my name wrong. So that just eliminates Cole or Carter from the conversation.
I'm going to say I didn't say it. I didn't misspell your name.
If you spell my name wrong, you're eliminated right away. Thank you to all that tuned in. This has been a fantastic show. A lot of great conversation. We're going to continue this conversation tomorrow because we're here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. right here on DSM Media Training the AM. Like, subscribe, follow. I'm Phil Stifle at Beard and Knowledge. We got intern Cole PT628, and Jason Voorhees at Mustang3651. You guys have a great day. Stay cool out there. I'm about to pack it up and head right into the oven of the pizza shop there, guys. Everybody have a great day, and go Birds, ring the bell, whatever. All the above.